Okay, so we already have seen the differential amplifier for MOS circuits. Few of the circuits we also have solved and have got some of the results. But now we will see the differential amplifier using bipolar device. Okay, just to make a comparison, I have chosen to solve one bipolar circuit so that you get a good understanding or exposure of both the devices. Okay, so for bipolar differential amplifiers, so in this case I have written DFAM, which is nothing but differential amplifier. So in case of bipolar differential amplifier, the difference is you use BJTs in the place of MOSFETs. Circuit wise there is not much change. So you have RC collector resistances, you have two BJTs, and you have a DC bias ISS. I have considered REE, which is the shunting resistance for the current source. Ideally it should be infinite. Okay, you have two inputs, V in 1 and V in 2. You have two outputs, VO1 and VO2, or V01 or V02, and you have a DC bias of VCC. Now from the circuit itself you can see your VB1 minus VB2 will be VID as usual, right? So why I considered VB1 and VB2? Because your VP also here will be it can be considered as a ground, because if you remember, for MOS we had this R05 resistance. Just previously I have shown in the equivalent circuit you had an R05 resistance input, and here you had R05 resistance where the current was almost zero. Ideally it was zero, but even if you consider some variation in the MOSFETs, I have shown that the current is almost zero, so you can consider the whole circuit as ground. Right, in the circuit initially I have seen, or I already have discussed that RSS resistance is very high generally. That's why less current will flow through this, and we can consider this VP point as ground. However, a solid explanation I made in case of equivalent circuit. So same explanation will be valid for here as well. So you can consider your VP value to be almost grounded. So you can consider your input is basically VB1 and VB2, right? Now, as usual, your V in 1 will be, this is V in 1, okay? So your V in 1 will be VID by 2 and V in 2 will be minus VID by 2. So differential input, right? And VID is equal to V in 1 minus V in 2, okay? So if we consider this T1 and T2 to be very identical, the gain for both of them I can consider as GM R pi. So we have calculated this gain previously when I was discussing BJTs. So you can go back and check if you don't remember, but the beta value was GM R pi. So in this case your beta is gain of this BJT, okay? But just few minutes back or few slides back, the beta was beta dash W by L, right, for MOSFET. So this beta is not the same beta over here. This is for BJT and beta value is here the gain GMR pi. So please remember and don't confuse yourself. Maybe after some time I will discuss feedback. So before feedback I just want to give you one understanding of BJT based circuit. So in the feedback you will find beta is again feedback factor, or somebody say feedback constant, whatever. Okay, so I am using this beta value as different parameters in different topic. So please keep this in mind. As this is a lecture, I am here to instruct you what value is what. So I am using this beta value as different parameters in different sections, so that many people use this beta value. In many books you'll find this beta value is used as the gain, and this beta also used as in some other books for CMOS. Okay, so I'm just keeping those symbols similar so that it becomes easier. Otherwise you just remember, or you can use some other parameter for CMOS beta value, which is k. In many places you will find it is written as k and kn or k dash n. So it's up to you, but don't forget that here the beta value is gain. After some time the beta value will become feedback constant, so they are not same everywhere. So this is something to keep in your mind, that's why I am repeating. So in AC equivalent circuit, what you do, you remove your DC part, right? So your DC bias is grounded, you have RC in both the sides, so it's a symmetric circuit, right? So in symmetric circuit, whatever change will happen to IC in left hand side, that means this side will be the opposite change in the right hand side, and that's why I have written IC1 is equal to delta IC and IC2 equal to minus delta IC. Same change should happen in the other side as well. Now if you draw the equivalent circuit of this BJT, I have just considered the left hand side, okay, just one side. Because it is symmetric, I can analyze one side and the same will happen for the other. It's simpler, okay. I already have discussed this symmetric case. So in this case you have VID by 2 as input, R pi is your input resistance, across that you have input voltage or a voltage V pi that is building up, and then you have a current source GM V pi and collector resistance RC. Your output is VO1, so your collector resistance will appear in the output side because this part is grounded. So just like the previous MOS analysis, or even before that I also have done few of the BJT analysis. So if you look at the circuit, it is very clear that as you don't have any resistance in this loop other than R pi, so the voltage across R pi is your V pi, and what is that voltage will be equal to the voltage you have in the input. So your V pi is VID by 2. And if you look at the output side, what will be your V01? You have current GM V pi here, which is flowing through RC. So your voltage V01 will be minus GM V pi RC. Why minus? Because the current is going the downwards in the opposite direction, right? So your V01 will be minus GM V pi RC. Simple circuit analysis. Your input is VID by 2. Now if you put V pi in the place of VID by 2, this V pi and this V pi will get cancelled. You will end up with minus GM RC, which is your AVDD, that means differential gain. So you got your differential gain. Not very difficult, right? Now let us see what is the common mode gain. Okay, why are we always looking at common mode gain? The reason is, consider there is a noise in your signal. In your VID is your input signal, right? Consider there is a noise. Now this noise will be equal in both the inputs, left side and right side, in T1 and T2, or say M1 and M2 in case of MOSFET. Now if there is a noise, this noise will appear as a common mode signal to differential amplifier. So we want to see what is the gain of that common mode. Ideally it should be 0. It should not further amplify the noise signals. So if they are equal in the both the sides, and if we can reduce this gain or ideally can make it 0, that is our best possible case, right? And which is the case if we can consider our DC bias as ideal current source. We already have shown, or we already have seen in the previous slides, I have shown this, that if you consider the current source to be ideal, then what is the resistance across? or what is the shunting resistance associated with the current source? It's infinite. If it is infinite, your AVCM is equal to 0. However, it is not the case if your current source is not ideal. That analysis also I have performed later, just to show you that in practice probably will get some finite value of gain for this kind of circuits. Is that okay? Now that is why we do always a common mode circuit analysis. Okay, so if you see in this circuit, you had this resistance, right? So we are actually considering a non-ideal current source case. So you have REE associated with this current source. So if I divide this REE in both the sides, in T1 as well as T2, we can consider that in both the sides, because they are in parallel, you have 2 REE. And what does that mean? The parallel combination will give you an equivalent resistance of REE, so which is reflecting over here. So what I have done, I have replaced the REE in both the sides as 2 RE. Is that okay? So if you have 2 RE in both the sides, then again this is a symmetric circuit. Consider only one side and calculate the voltage. The same will be happen in the other side as well. Then we have converted this into the equivalent circuit. So you have VCM this time as input. Previously it was VID by 2. In this case it is common mode signal VCM. You have R pi. Across that you have voltage V pi. You have the current GM R pi. You have RC connected in the output side, and you have 2 RE, this resistance through which the circuit is grounded. Simple. Now you calculate the AVCM, which is nothing but V01 or VO1, whatever you say, the output voltage divided by VCM, the input voltage. If you do a simple circuit analysis, it's not very difficult. You have 2 loops, one in this side, one in that side. Calculate this. So just to give you a hint, remember this side the total voltage is VCM. So your VCM will appear across R pi and 2 RE, emitter resistance, 2 into emitter resistance. In both the voltage drop will be equal to the voltage drop across this, both the resistances will be equal to the VCM. Consider this. Do this circuit analysis. You will find V01 by VCM is minus beta RC divided by R pi plus 2 RE into beta plus 1. And your beta value is generally very high, so you can neglect 1 in this term. So you will end up with minus GM RC 1 plus 2 GM RE, because beta equal to GM R pi. I have replaced this value. R pi will come out as a common factor, and then it will get cancelled. Here also it is GM R pi, right? So R pi will get cancelled. You have GMRC and 1 plus 2 GMRE. So what is your CMRR? CMRR means common mode rejection ratio. So AVDD by AVCM, differential gain by common mode gain. Just replace differential gain. I just have shown minus GMRC, this one. Common mode gain you have got here. So it is a value of 1 plus 2 GMREE. So ideally your CMRR should be infinite, because ideally AVCM should be 0. So that is what I have written. If REE is infinite, which is the case in the case of ideal current source, your REE should be infinite. Put infinite over here, your CMRR is infinite. It's an ideal circuit. But in practice it is not infinite. There is a finite value of REE. So you will get a finite value of CMRR, and this is typically 80 to 120 dB. So this is the purpose of doing this analysis. Okay, so just remember, in case of MOS circuit also you have seen a similar case, and BJT also it is more or less same. I would recommend you to study these BJT cases from the book. You will find this thing either in Cedra Smith or in Razavi book. most of the things are collected from these books only, and some video lectures or online materials. So you just go through the books, you'll figure out the cases for equivalent BJT, or say even can revise the MOS one. So whatever I am showing here is already there in the book. That is what I want to say.